Everybody, and this morning I attended the opening of new premises for a business in Ballymoney, and it was so good to see the economic activity going on in this part of Northern Ireland, and I want to congratulate Pay Escape and indeed their 50 employees as they move forward. I also met with Mark in an organisation called CAN, which is a social enterprise helping those with learning disabilities live a full and active life. So hello to Mark and to all at CAN in Ballymoney, and I hope you can hear and see me sending you this message from Stormont. But despite the very positive visit I had to Ballymoney this morning, we are in an urgent situation in another part of Northern Ireland. Recent outbreaks of infection are growing at an accelerated rate in certain areas. In a few short weeks, the Derry City and Strabane District Council area has gone from having the lowest number of cases in the United Kingdom to now being amongst the highest. The rate of positive cases today in this location is well in excess of 300 per 100,000 people. And on average, that rate is doubling every 5 days. Now, this is well above the average for other local government areas. In fact, the rate of cases is now double and triple that of those areas which previously had been of most concern, like Belfast, Mid-Ulster and Newry, Mourne Down. It is sobering to note that at the end of the summer, the North West area sat alongside other lower infection areas like East Antrim. Today, their rates are 10 times higher. The R rate in the Derry and Strabane Council area is calculated as 2 or higher. So this rapid turnaround shows us the challenge we are all facing. The virus moves swiftly, seizing every opportunity where people have perhaps dropped their guard or taken one chance too many. And our collective response must be to tighten our defences and to join together to protect each other. So today the Executive has considered a range of options, and it has tried to balance the impact that this will have here on lives and livelihoods. It is clear that measures such as the current household restrictions in place for the whole of Northern Ireland are having some effect and have served to blunt the increase of cases in areas such as Ballymena and Belfast. But stronger action is needed in areas where cases have continued to rise significantly. So we must act decisively to contain these outbreaks and prevent any spread to any other part of Northern Ireland. And we must control and drive down the rates of infection within this area. The Executive has agreed on a range of new restrictions that will be geographical in nature and time limited. So in addition to the existing household restrictions in place across Northern Ireland, the Executive has decided today to introduce the following measures in the Derry City Council and Strabane areas. Hospitality venues will only be open for takeaway, delivery and outdoor dining. Hotels can only provide services to residents and those who have booked weddings and funeral teas. No organised indoor gatherings should take place in community halls or other such venues. Indoor sports is limited to individual training only, and no exercise classes are allowed. Organised outdoor gatherings will be limited to 15 people, and no spectators can attend sporting or other events. All museums, galleries and cultural attractions must close, and libraries can operate a call and collect service. We are asking people living in this area to work from home where that is possible and to avoid any unnecessary travel. Similarly, people outside this area should not visit or travel to it for unnecessary reasons. People are asked to walk, cycle or to use private transport, shared only with members of their household where possible. And if using public transport, please follow social distancing and wear a mask. Now, we understand that all restrictions on our daily lives are difficult, and we have endeavoured to take a measured and proportionate approach, and this is by no means a lockdown. Schools and colleges will continue to operate, as well as childcare services in the area. Church services will continue. Weddings and funerals will be able to go ahead, albeit with certain restrictions on any post-ceremony gatherings, and we published guidance on this just yesterday, and that guidance still stands. Sports matches can go ahead without spectators. Outdoor gatherings for up to 15 people are permitted in non-domestic settings. And if you run a business to other people's homes or from your home, that can continue. Now, I recognise that this news will come as a hammer blow to businesses in the North West, and ministers have already commenced work on how further support might be provided for those adversely impacted by these measures. And we recognise also the absolute need for stronger enforcement of existing regulations. Further ministerial discussions on this issue took place this morning. The Minister for Justice has agreed to conduct a rapid review of fines currently in place, offering the prospect for a greater deterrent moving forward. We are asking people to work with us and with each other to halt the spread of this deadly virus. The restrictions that we are putting in place today are designed to address the specific issues in one location, but we must all take heed of the warning. The virus is active in all areas of Northern Ireland. Now, I have spoken before about the lag period between the identification of positive cases and severe illness requiring hospitalisation, which will lead inexorably to more deaths. And we have seen a steady rise in hospitalisations and now have 70 people who are COVID positive in hospitals. That rate is currently doubling every 9 days, so we cannot allow that to continue. We do have an opportunity to turn back the tide of infection, and we must seize this. And as an executive, we are taking action, and I would urge every person to consider how they can do this too. The virus is passed from one person to another, so we must all take responsibility to try and block the transfer. I'd like to thank all those who have made a significant effort to keep both the spirit and the letter of the law. But to those who ignore the law and to thumb their nose at the executive and what we are trying to do, tougher penalties and enforcement is coming. I want to make that very clear. I also welcome the positive engagement we continue to have with community, civic, policing and business leaders. And through keeping to the existing restrictions and the new ones in the Derry and Strabane council area, we can all stay safe and save lives. Michelle.
Good afternoon.